Evening. Welcome to another edition of the Press Box. Brian Carson here. My co-host Kenny Varner. How you doing, Kenny?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Hanging in there, bud. Hanging in there. Tonight, we got one of our good friends on here. It's Honorary Wrestling Federation. They got Summerfest coming up shortly here. That's the 17th, right, Matt?
That's right, August 17th at the Lewistown Community Center, Brian.
We have Matt TRK Silks and Pit Chick, who we found out last time she was on, very popular. Very popular with your audience.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and then we're going to have Mosh on later, right?
That's right.
And you guys got a tag team championship match coming up.
Yeah, the biggest one ever.
Before we get into the card, the Summerfest card, I decided I hadn't watched a wrestling pay-per-view in ages. But it's free on Peacock. So I decided to watch SummerSlam. And wrestling is like heavy metal music. It'll be popular, it'll die out, and then it'll be popular. And what I've seen is it looks like it's coming back. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that way at a grassroots level too?
I do. I think it feels more like genuinely bigger for us when things are better on TV. And like there's several companies that like I want to work for. And I look to like who they're booking, and it's normally people that are leaving WWE and going on to do their thing. So there's a boom even when there's not so much a boom. You know what I mean? So you constantly feel it. Like Matt Riddle just started coming around on the indies all around PA, Maryland and stuff. And it's like, that'll happen shortly around WrestleMania weekend. So everybody's capitalizing on this, and they're bringing in all these guys who were just on TV. So yeah, it definitely shakes us, but it's exciting, man, because like if they watch it on TV, what makes them, not want to come watch it live? You know what I mean?
Do you think it has to do too with the characters that are there now, the like the storylines? Because I know the bloodline thing was really, really popular, and my God, did that crowd pop when Roman Reigns came out?
Yeah.
Holy hell!
It's definitely character driven, but I think it's the best time ever when it comes to talent, like the actual talent themselves. Like they all play really good characters, but the athleticism now compared to the 80s, early 90s, it's unmatched. Like I used to be a mark for Stone Cold and The Rock until I discovered Bret Hart, until I discovered Chris Jericho and Dean Malenko, and I was like, oh wow, these guys can actually go. That's grown and became like a huge thing now on TV. These guys are amazing, and some people can say it's gymnastics or whatever, but to me, I just think it's great storytelling when it's done right. Now, I also believe that there is such thing as doing too many things and not being able to sell it, not being able to get your audience into it.
Right.
Do you think Triple H has a lot to do with the change back to the way things were in the Attitude Era?
Certainly, 100%. And I don't think it's just that. I think that a lot of the people that he's around, because he's appeasing a lot of people with this TKO thing. So I would imagine he has people to deal with there. But not only that, there's people that actually know the business that's still on WWE side that, like, the Pat Pattersons, he passed away, but we still have Michael P.S. Hayes. These guys, they know how to put TV together. You know what I mean? And regardless if the product changes, those TV slots are always going to be the same. The time markers are always going to be the same. So you got to adjust to that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that it has a lot to do with who you surround yourself with, and I think he's got a lot of good people around him.
Yeah, it's really different in the 70s. I know that when I was growing up. That was more ground and pound, and guys had pot bellies.
Yeah. They still do now. I assure you, they still do now, depending on where you look.
True.
Yeah.
True. I'll tell you what, that Gunther man, he could wrestle in the 70s. He has that European 70s style, pound you, lock you up. I like him. That was the first time I saw him. I like him. He's all right.
Real. Yeah, he's real.
So
he comes across as real.
Let's get to you. That's what we're here for. Hell with WWE.
Get the press everything,
You have Summerfest coming up. Let's get the poster here. I took it from your site. I know you wouldn't care.
No, I don't care. It's sharing us, man. That's what it's all about, of course.
So it looks like here you got a nice looking card. You got a Riley Crow debuting. Can you talk about her a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting beside someone that can talk about her also. Riley Crow is a fantastic female talent, but I'll tell you what, man, Lewistown's never seen anything like her. Danny's actually wrestled her. She's been in the ring with her, and she's saying that she's no joke. She's a scrapper, but she's been in business for a long time. She's got her fingers really, really deep into the business, especially here in PA, and she's working around a lot of really good places. And it's kind of weird, that we didn't link up with her sooner. You know what I mean? I was kind of surprised by that. But the last couple of months, we did some business with her, and she seemed like the perfect person to come in versus an Angel Metro. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do.
Well, let's, instead of jumping around like that, tell me the card. We'll go down the list. We'll go down the list on the card. Before, though, I'll ask Pit Chick about her, Riley Crow. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, Riley, she is fun to work in the ring, but working in the ring against her, you are working. She puts you to the test. Now, I would honestly say that ranks as one of my favorite matches because it was also my first intergender tag match. It was my first real tag match in general. Yeah. So that it was a whole new horizon for me, and it was me and Edward James versus her and
Billy Mike.
It was Mike. But it was a crazy match. Her finisher is
different.
It's something else, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it ended the match. It pinned Pit Chick, and that's the thing. Crow's incredible. Like I said, but she's a veteran in the wrestling business, and I don't know. I'm excited to have those types of people in the locker room, building up new talent's awesome. But at the end of the day, I love having some vets come in here and work with people and give back. That's what our business is all about. But you were talking about the card there. I'll tell you the matches. So we have the Banana Man, Lestat. He's coming in versus a new guy. His name's Saga. He's from a different company, Extreme Hybrid Wrestling. We do business with these guys, and it's going to be probably your comic relief match, if you catch what I'm saying. I have a triple threat match that's for the Extreme Heavyweight Championship. Sledge Gibson, the former champion, going against John Washington, the champion, and going against Washington's trainer, Jason, a guy that's been on AEW Dark. He's been all around the indies, so he's coming in making his debut. And that's a triple threat match for the Extreme Heavyweight Championship. Riley Crow versus Angel Metro. And our heavyweight title match is James Ford versus the Madness of Trip. And that's going to be something because the two really big guys, I'm excited to see what goes on there. But I'm most excited for the tag team title match that is Sons of Milton County versus Neverfall. So you're looking about 6 or 7 matches, and we like to bring a couple extra guys in just in case somebody can't show up, and we throw an extra match on the card. So 6 or 7 matches.
There was a lot of action the last time you guys met up. Just kind of talk about what happened the last time you guys met.
Perfect. That's a perfect segue. I think that Mosh and myself, we got a little bit sidetracked and we thought only about the championships at that time. And we're talking about like a boom for us, literally. Everywhere we're going, we're being looked at, we're taken seriously. And we had conversations with Danny about staying backstage and, let us do our thing. But whenever you see someone go in there and you grab, they're grabbing foreign objects, they're going to try to beat us down with those things to retain their undefeated streak and all that mess. But then and I get that she smacked Rose. I get that. And she probably shouldn't have done that. We've talked about that. We've gone over that. But that didn't mean that he should pick her up. I mean, she's 100 pounds soaking wet,
Mm-hmm.
Drilled her through a table. What's that do? Takes our attention. I just remember looking at Mosh and saying, look. And he turns around and there we're looking at the pit check going upside down and not the way that she wants to, going through a table. And, I think it made her stronger. I do believe that. But it definitely pissed Mosh off. It pissed me off too, because they low blowed me, they rolled me up, and I had a lot of respect for those guys going into that match. And it sucks that it ended the way that it did. But the people, they're ready for round 2, and that's what it's all about, baby. Round 2.
Sucks I'm not allowed out there.
Yeah.
It's honestly for the best because I can see him trying to pull some sketchy shenanigans.
Yes, it's John Roden.
Trying to get you.
Yeah, we're
I
trying
saw on your Honorary Wrestling Facebook site one of them talking trash on you.
He's always talking smack.
Yeah.
All he does is talk smack.
Yeah, that's all he does. Why don't we swap you guys to Mosh and come in here and give these guys some of your input about how it felt to see your girl go through a table after Saturday. Introduce yourself to Brian Carson.
Hey, Mosh, how you doing, buddy?
Hey.
So yeah, what were your thoughts on that? Seeing her go through a table.
Well, first thought is let me check to see if she's okay. But the next thing, I can't tell you what the next thing through my head was. All I saw was red, and I blacked out, and John was the only thing I wanted to punch. It's legitimately, how do you let somebody put their hands on your girl and not do anything about it?
Yeah.
Right.
If you go back and look at the footage, it straight looks like the Christmas Story when Ralphie grabs a hold of the bully finally and just mounts on top and punches him until somebody is able to pull them off of each other.
And John Roden's huge, man. He's a big guy. He's impressive to be around. I was able to maneuver him around the ring, and then being able to see Mosh on top of him, hammering down. And it's like, if there's anybody that can beat these two guys, and they're extraordinary. I'll say that. But if there's anybody that can beat them, it's us. There's never been so much attention around a match, especially in HWF. So when John Roden says this is our biggest match, yeah, as a company and as a tag team, it's our biggest match. And it's the last time I checked, man, I can't recall the last time that I felt like this type of reaction. Like people want to see this match.
Do you think that you pose a threat to them, and that's why they had to go to those standards?
100%. Who else wouldn't? If you know that you can beat anybody on a given day basis, why would you have to go that route? Why would you have to, grab a foreign object, attack a female? Why would you have to do any of that if you didn't think that your time was not, the number was knocking at you?
Yeah. I mean, I think he knew that we were closing in on him. And not only that, and I'm not saying anything bad about them guys at all, because like I said, we don't do that post-natal threats thing, but we're conditioned, man. We've been on the road every week, every single weekend, going out there, doing everything that we can do. We're in contendership for 3 companies' tag team championships
Just this month.
and that's a really big deal. And I mean, we exited a company that we were working for nearly 2 years, and and taking that company out, we were able to open up, and go other places. But really, like, all these other places that we're working, we're in storylines of other people, but it's nothing like what we have here. It's organic. And not only that, like, let's be serious here. You know what I mean? These guys are extremely good at being bad. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, I feel like, I've played both sides of the coin. Mosh came to me last week. I need the old TRK. And I didn't want to say it to him in the promo. I didn't want to say, hey, if it was the old TRK, you wouldn't be standing next to me. It would only be about me. But that's not what it's about anymore. It's about elevating tag team wrestling. It's about elevating a different, entire division. And when I say it's about taking over in different places, and I really do believe that we are doing that. Our look, our tag team continuity, the way that we move around the ring together. I mean, literally work with each other. We travel to work together. We do everything. We're a family. You know what I mean? This dude literally just bought me a $200 pair of sunglasses on my head, celebrating getting a second match. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes you get a little bit, ahead of yourself, but I don't believe that right now. We're conditioned and we're ready to go 100%. The Sons are the ones.
Are you ready for them then, knowing they're going to, like, pull shit out of their asses and, like, try to foreign objects, good stuff like that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It don't matter. They can pull whatever card they have to at this point.
Would you think of doing it, Mosh? Would you think of returning the favor with your own?
So
it's all right.
If it wasn't for him calming me down more often than not, I would have probably disrespected them faster than they could disrespect me. I probably would have grabbed a chair, kendo stick. I would have driven Zach through a table upside down head first. I wouldn't care. But he's calmed me down enough to where I don't think about that first. As a receipt, sure, maybe. But right now, I know we have their number.
There's a rhyme and a reason for everything that we're doing. And it's like, I can remember when I was young into wrestling and I was like, you know what, like, I can't wait for this to happen. But I don't feel we're at that point. I feel like we're right where we need to be, like, tag team wise. But to answer your question, Brian, we'll do whatever we got to do to win these tag titles. And I know what they did last time, so I'm not afraid to go that measure.
Let me put it this way then, Mosh. Are you worried that you're going to get too out of control because of what happened to Pitchick and not keep your head in the match?
No, I'm not worried at all. He's got me more mellowed out at this point. They said so much the last time I was able to keep my cool. But when that bell rings and they're standing in front of me, I know the rules. I used to be a referee when I first started. I know how to push every bit of those limits. And at this point, I might push every limit that I can, but I know where I can and cannot go.
Do you think all this has set your intensity and your focus even more on them than maybe what it would have before?
You could say that, but at the same time, the intensity's always been there. They got two things about that tag team that no matter what, we want. Actually, if you want to count it, three things. They have the respect around the indie scene no matter where they go. They've been undefeated for 5 years. And the most important thing, they have our tag team titles, the titles that represent home. That's where they need to be. They need to be at home.
I 100% second that. Not even that. Losing your, the train of thought and a match and getting really excited because of something like that. Like, that can happen to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, you get prepared for something, going to work or something. If you get over prepared, you mess up. I think we've gotten to the point now to where we're in each other's ears and we're in each other's head at this point with how much we're working on the road on these independent shows. Like he said, we want the respect. We want the undefeated streak. We want the belts. I don't know. There's a direction that I could go where I could say that at the point now, the way that they've been talking, I would really like to beat them in the submission and really even kick them out. Because to me, the tag team championships are going to be around the waist of Sons Mifflin County, August 17th. regardless of what they do. That's just the fact of life.
There you go. That's confidence. Sam, how you doing, Sammy? Sam said booked every weekend into December -3, which is all split up.
Yeah.
And no, Josh, I've officially retired. My wrestling career was back in high school. Josh wants to put Kenny and I together again. And
No,
that would be ugly. That would be ugly.
Bastards or something.
The fat
Yeah.
bastard.
Fat bastards.
Fat
You guys
bastard.
Don't
No,
you
I told
Yeah, we
I
can
told Matt I just want to be a scum manager.
handle the microphone, get everybody all hot.
Yeah.
No matter what,
Just-
as a manager though, they still get contacted once in a while. So he could be on their manager side, and I get to punch a manager in the face again.
Yeah.
Hey, I said it would be great TV, man. Knock me off my wheelchair.
I volunteered.
It'd be freaking awesome.
Super kicking boat ass.
Be
Yeah,
freaking
we're on
awesome.
Yes, it would be. It was
Wheels
possible,
up.
but
Wheels up, bam.
boom.
But I could get everybody mad in your company if you give me a chance. Everybody.
I told you, you're more than welcome, Brian. Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Yeah, Sam, me doing the finish. Okay.
No, I learned my lesson from trying to block y'all during a Super Bowl. Remember?
Yeah.
I was bruised for days.
Yeah, we like to get out there and play, man. I tell you what, those guys, Vernon Bulldogs, they kick our ass. When's our first game with them? Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, next Wednesday, the first HWF and Vernon Bulldogs.
See, Kenny, you have that experience knowing how we handle stuff off field or on the field
Yeah.
compared to what we do inside the ring. If I turn everything all the way up, you ain't catching me.
Nope.
So
But-
for what you guys see on the field next Wednesday,
Mhm.
they're going to feel the same thing come time that bell rings.
That's it. You heard it.
Gotcha. Mhm.
Do you plan to do, not to give away strategy, but do you feel you have to do something, you can give me just yes or no, that you haven't done before? Because, I mean, if they haven't lost in 5 years, that's pretty impressive.
It's the most impressive thing we have ever been against. I have gone through a lot of different strategies with him. We've talked about a lot of things,
Hey,
for real,
right.
but we're not going to give anything away.
Thank you.
My whole approach to it is there's such thing as called a wow factor, and I know how to do that better than probably anybody. And since I've been bringing this kid up with me on the road everywhere I go, a lot of that stuff's rubbed off onto him, and a lot of his stuff's rubbed off onto me as well. I mean, there for a while, I wasn't so much of a striker. Now anymore, I'm striking. I test after Zach Rain. I test after John Roden. So the monsters that they're getting August 17th, they helped create them monsters. To quote John Roden, y'all helped create these monsters that are coming August 17th. So, and how poetic. Round 2, the match that we take 5-year reign. Like, I don't know, man. Sounds good to me.
I got a strategy. I'm going to give you a strategy free right here.
Bring it out.
One of you distract them, and then the other one repeated nut shots
That's it.
while the ref isn't looking.
Sounds like
They
a plan.
ain't getting up from that.
No, they're not. I assure you, they're not, because I was lovely.
Bear with me, guys. Do you remember back in the day the Dudleys would do the set up for the what's up?
Oh yeah.
Do you think the $1 million Mohawk deserves a good placement there for that?
Yeah.
Headshot to the nuts. We're making that happen. You heard it. here.
Boom.
There's the only spoiler you'll get.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Pee Wee, for the like. Pee Wee Duncan, Dawn Kerstetter, Kay Rigler, Josh.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
So how do you think the pop is going to be when you guys finally get your hands on them and come out for the
That's-
match?
that's why the wife wanted to put it in the main event spot, and that's regardless of what anybody believes or thinks. I do help a lot with this company, but I in no way, shape, or form tried to go after a main event spot or anything like that. My wife looked at me and said, "This is the hottest thing." When we did the thing in the office, why not go for it? Put you guys on main. And to me, I think that like the build up is going to be so intense that I think when we first touch, I think that it really is it's going to shake the foundation of the Coliseum. I really do in my heart believe that because we got so much heat going into the match. Not only that, the people are really excited for it. And there's legitimate people there that are coming for the first time. And they're wanting to see the best of the best. And it ain't getting much better than Never Fall in Sunville County.
So besides your match, is there anyone that's for both you and Mosh? Is there any one particular match that you're looking at that you it's like, yeah, this is going to be a good one too?
Yeah, I'm actually ready to see Madness at Tripp and Ford. Ford's been champ for well over a year, ain't it at this point? But Madness at Tripp is one of those characters. Oh man, I had to describe this the other week to somebody because they asked me how to describe him. Have you ever seen the Disney movie Princess and the Frog? The Princess and the Frog, the witch doctor there.
Mm-hmm.
Mixture of I don't know, you get like a monster inside of it, somebody else's head on top of that. It's a combination that you will fall in love with, but be terrified at the same time.
Great character.
Several times he will talk in the third person, but he's talking to you think it's third person, but he's talking to all the demons in his head that are trying to tell him, hey, do that thing. I need to take his throat out and floss my teeth with it, but at the same time, I can't because there's a small child there.
Yeah, he's incredible.
But as a human being outside that ring, these guys are phenomenal. I've seen Ford come up and play football with against the Bulldogs, but I've shared other locker rooms with Madness at Tripp and
wrestled him, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that much. My head still hurts.
He beat Mosh, so like
the only guy I've ever found to ever be able to out headbutt me for a minute. Yeah. But outside the ring, they're both great guys that would legitimately give the shirt off their backs. But when that bell rings, they like to tear each other apart. So I'm ready to see that.
Sounds good. I mean, that Ford's a mean-looking bastard, man.
He is, dude.
He is. I mean that in a nice way. He's just, he's got it down. That look, he's got a good look, to himself.
Yeah, Josh asked me the other day. It's weird that no one's picked him up, and I think it's not for the lack that I don't think it's that there's anything wrong with it. I just think that there wasn't a company that was really drawing that was gonna put him in that spot. And let me tell you what, he's a guy that you give him the ball and he's gonna play big game ball. That's all I can say. And with the first thing he does when he gets to that building, what do I need? What do you guys need from me tonight? You know what I mean? A consummate professional, just a great person. But so is Tripp. I really like Tripp too. I personally believe that Tripp's winding down and he's trying to get every last bit of accolade he can get before he exits the business. And a guy like that's scary, man, because he doesn't have a rhyme or a reason for anything. You know what I mean? A guy with nothing to lose is a pretty dangerous person, in my
opinion. What are your thoughts on where your company is right now compared to like when you started?
Oh man, that's a hard one because like it's a really like big deal to me. Trying to make the show look big from the get-go was like the option that I wanted, but I think just the overall feel, the way that we're reaching out to people through the post, the video, and the talent that we have is working top-notch promotions, and they're working here, and they're entertaining people. I would say this, the biggest thing that we have is the team, the people that don't get talked about. Dawn, Sam, Tim Miller, my wife, more oftentimes than not, my wife's making 12 trips a night down to that building. You know what I mean? So these are all things that people, they don't want to take these steps. We just had to talk about this the other day about production, but we've invested a lot of money in the last couple months. I mean, he did himself on lights and the new truss system, but the being able to hear people say they want to work here and having an inbox full of people that want to work here, that's incredible. Like, I'm super proud of Trista. I'm proud of everybody, and I'm just happy I get to help along with it, man.
Nice. Well, that's what, production's important. That's what made WWE what it is.
Yep. And WWE is what made me what I am. And anybody out there that says that they don't want a look like NXT or WWE or something, they're lying to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's the
Right.
goal. The goal is to be in the top. The goal is to have someone stop, like Zach Rain and other guys I respect a lot. They're like, hey, we saw your production first, and we wanted to come there alone off of that. You know what I mean? So having people want to work here just off of the production and all that stuff alone, that's incredible, man. I'm proud of it.
Hey, to up that production value, you think the promoter can give us a good open wallet to be able to spend more money on that stuff?
And we're getting there. We're getting there. You know, like big banners. There's gonna be big banners hanging and everything. Like, it's gonna be awesome. But huge shout out to Mama Dawn's. Huge shout out to Dawn. She's incredible. Great sponsor. Making sure we have big old banners hanging up, and for the last couple of years, she's taken care of me with getting my gear along with Pam. And these people are the reason that it's good. The people that roll up cables, use the trash cans, empty the trash cans. Like, I don't know, man. They're the silent people that are doing all the work. They really are.
Heck, even to the ladies that run the kitchen every night, man. I've seen those ladies cooking the night before or even the morning of, as we're trying to finish up the ring and everything else. They're cooking pounds of hamburger meat just for the tacos, or making sure we got enough hamburger or hot dogs and buns and the candy for the kids.
It's an 8-hour production setup. Like, it takes 8 hours in total. Yeah, in total. Like, we'll start night 4, and then we get the stuff there early in the morning. But you're talking about 8 hours of just making the stuff look good. And then my son, Matt, a hell of a videographer. So Sam. These guys are incredible. The production is only as good as it is because of those guys.
And Cisco.
Yes, Cisco.
They can't forget about Cisco coming in with them. Curb does some shots that I don't think I've ever seen anybody else that can grab it.
No.
That is awesome. That's what you want, because you remember, if you're old enough, that's what made McMahon Jr. stick out, because it used to be in the territory days. It was like in a little TV studio with shitty production, and McMahon made it a show.
Believe it or not, it still really is like that. Like, all of these little indie companies, like, there's some that are little and there's some that are bigger, and there is such thing as territory. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I know some people that can get along. I know some people that can't, and that's why they have separate shows, this, that, the other thing. But to me, like, I've always said, the more people that come together and help pitch in, the bigger and better the show can be. But that's just it, though. I'm such a stickler for the production and for the way that I have to have my things. Like, I run 3 production meetings before the show happens. And that's just to make sure everybody knows their steps. And I talk about my video people, and even people that run cords and stuff like that. Like, it's a real deal job. So,
got a message for you for the Suns, Carl Barker. Can you see that on the screen?
yeah.
It's really small. Can you read it out?
He says hello. He says, "Hello, Suns. Long time no see. Just want to say the family and everyone misses you guys."
Hey, brother, we miss you all too. Don't worry. We'll see each other down the line, hopefully soon enough. He was part of the family that we left from one of the other companies that we just outgrew. But Carl, we'll run into each other somewhere down the road again. In the industry, we say this: never say never. You never know where we're going to end up. You never know where you're going to end up. We will cross paths yet again somewhere.
Yeah, that crowd from the T Sport, man, that is something else. Like there's people that mention, you hear it on TV. They say about going out there and hearing the crowd. It's like a drug. When we would get down there to Pittsburgh, that 3-hour trip, those fans were the reason we were going every time. And man, they were just like, they went from hating us to loving us, and we became like in a matter of like 2 weeks or 2 shows or so, like we became their hottest, baby faces down there. But it really just became a thing. Like we love seeing these people and we love coming out there to wrestle. But there's like 4 companies we're telling no to fulfill those obligations, because some months it was 2 shows a month, sometimes it was 1 a month, and it's like, it'd be nice to see some different stuff. Not that we didn't appreciate that. I like to remain humble, and I like to remind everybody around me that like it's very, very important that we remember that we're guys that live in Lewiston. I mean, we got there, it's hard to feel that. It's hard to and be like, man, I feel like somebody today. Like they're cheering my name. You know what I mean? But
I wasn't used to that at first.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
those people are why we're doing what we're doing. So like, we love you, Carl. We love all you guys.
And Mitchell Jadon says, I miss you guys as well. And I love being the head of security for HWF. It's a lot of fun.
That's great, and that's coming from somebody that helps a lot.
Well, that's not even that. That's from somebody you decided to clock his face in. Let's not talk about that. Sorry, Mitch.
Yeah, love you, Mitch.
So how do you, I'm curious, how do you, your contracts?
Yeah.
When you get people in, is it like per match, like a yearly thing, or how do your contracts work?
You mean for talent or
Yeah, talent.
Okay. So basically, because like I was saying about the old territory stuff, it's a lot of handshake deals. Like there's a lot of times that you'll leave a show Friday night, next morning you're gonna see a lot of those same people, and you shake their hands over again, because that's your binding contract. That's what I believe. And when we bring somebody in, we take them at the word that they're gonna attend the event. And not only that, if they're going to be a champion in the company, then obviously we want them to make our company a priority and make sure that they're coming to these shows. But like we've been a champion in a company, and because of other business that we had to fulfill, we weren't able to attend that. And I know how that made me feel to miss it, but I also know that's not cool to do to a company. So the people that we got, they're all on handshake deals, every single one of them. And there's a lot of guys like Ford and Neverfall, those guys, they're all on a handshake deal with my wife. Now, Mosh, it's a different situation for Mosh, Edward James, Pit Chick, Ashlyn Shaw, Big Philly, any of the people that are here, Steve Steele, they more or less have a contract with me to be able to be like, hey, I'm gonna attend training so that I can be good in the ring. If I'm not going to train, I'm not going to be in the ring, that type of thing. But that's a little bit of a behind the curtain type thing there.
Okay, but when it comes to here, though, I do whatever I can to make sure I'm at these shows.
Yes.
Have you ever been, I'm sure you have you ever been burnt on a handshake deal?
Several times. We've had people
back out right before the match.
I say I legitimately can recall during the backstage meeting with the locker room, he's looking at me and saying, hey, call so-and-so or reach out to so-and-so. And they're like, hey, family emergency, couldn't make it. Like,
oh,
okay,
God.
scramble time. Legitimately, and the first bell's supposed to ring in less than 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and they couldn't have told you before that.
That's the thing. Like, even I don't know. My thing about accountability and showing up is the top thing. And I think that, like, even with my school, I tell these guys, let me know if you're going to be able to make it or not. So if you're not coming, you don't have to tell me why you're not coming. That's none of my business. But just let me know so I know how to prepare. It's the same thing for a show. It's like the one thing you have to do is train. The second thing you have to do is set up the ring for shows. You know what I mean? And that really, a lot of these guys that are coming in and they're making money from Trista, they have done that. They have set up rings. They have helped poster, and this is years and years ago before social media was really helping. But
Well, if your skull, we've never done this on the show. If there's somebody that thinks they can do it,
Yeah.
how would they get in touch with you to be trained, be in your
Well,
school?
you contact me through Facebook. I've done this before. I'll put my number out there. I've done it before. 717-513-7100. You can contact me. You can message me right now about a tryout. And what I do is I bring somebody up here and I give them the 3 days a week that we do normally. And they'll have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 4 o'clock. We set the ring up. By 5 o'clock, we're training. And the deal is like for $50, if you're getting started, I give you 3 days to find out if this is what you want to do. And then after that, you can come on as a regular student. We, like I said, 3 days a week. We try to get 2 to 3 days. At least we're getting one. We're training. We're doing cardio, regardless if we don't set up the ring. But $120 a month isn't bad. I don't think so. And to be a fully trained wrestler and paid off, it's $2,500. It's what I paid, but I paid it twice if you think about it, because I bought a ring and I had my own thing with Rob Noxious. So, but I've paid the dues 100 times over. We still set the ring up.
What are you looking for from somebody that comes there to the school? Can you tell right away if they got what it takes or no?
Certainly.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
I've been shocked. I have been shocked many different times, but I will tell you this: what I'm looking for is somebody that actually wants to do it, like the drive. Like, I talk a lot with the guys at the school about the way it was when I was a student, and to me, I still think I am a student. I train in the ring with these guys like I am a student, and at the end of the day, it's like I want them coming here and saying, "I want to learn this," or "I want to." How come this doesn't make sense? I want to see the sense of urgency that is really lacking, because it's an easy business to get into nowadays if you think about it, and that really upsets me, because it was hard for me, very hard. I'm talking from 12 years old and up. I'm gonna have a ring one day. I'm gonna have a ring, and I got a ring. But that's the thing. A lot of these guys don't have to want it that bad that they have to create their own path. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. I don't really talk about that part too much. But at the end of the day, it's like the things I have, the little chunk that I have here, is because I just refuse to stop. You know what I mean? And that's what I want. I want somebody that refuses to stop. I bump 25, 30, 50 times a day, and I'm like, out bump me. You know what I mean? Make yourself go the extra mile, because at the end of the day, when you're in there, they don't say, "Oh, you messed up, so let's pause and let's reset, let's stand back up." That's not how it goes. You get punched in the face if you mess up. That's a legitimate, real thing. How about it?
I don't want to talk about it. My first match ever, I tripped before we even did the lockup, and I got punched square in the face.
It's like, boom. He was like, "Okay, I'm back."
Oh man.
Straight up. So explain that to also you. How do you have a business where legitimately your best friend for 20 some years, and we punched each other the hardest we like anybody else in the locker room will ever do you?
Yeah.
But also, like, you, to answer more to your question, like he said, the drive, but you got to also have the passion. If you don't have a passion for this and you don't want to just push yourself to be the best you can be, and you just want to skate by and just float underneath the radar and like everybody does nowadays in this generation, this isn't a business for you.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to sign somebody that just looks average.
Yeah.
You have to learn to stand out, and you have to find your own niche to be able to be like, hey, I'm different from him. He's different from her. Like, every which way in shape, and form and fashion. You don't.
Yeah.
Like, everybody can go and play WWE 2K, whatever year we're on,
Yeah.
and create a wrestler on the video game. We did that in real life, but we keep evolving it.
Yeah.
Every time we're out there.
Yeah.
if you're just like, oh, here's one thing and I'm done, and I just bought the generic stuff off of the internet,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, nobody's
take
gonna
it
look.
serious.
Nobody's gonna look at you.
Yeah.
But if you keep working at it and you try to improve yourself and you push yourself further, like it
Yeah.
makes everything better for you. Not only you, but the guys around you want to keep up. That we say that in our stuff all the time. Keep up.
But it's a real thing.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the real thing. And you can't be soft in the business either. Like you can't. Like he'll tell you firsthand. A lot of what we do is entertainment, but at the end of the day, like I'm hard. I'm hard on my guys that's been with me ever since the backyard, and he's one of them. And to me, it's like you're standing directly beside me. So the things that you do, they affect me, and the things that I do affect you. That's how this works. And there for a long time, he didn't understand this heat scenario that I used to have. It's like, I can't believe just because I'm your friend, these people wouldn't like me. You know what I mean? But it's a business like that. It's a real thing. Heat's very real, but you got to be able to take a little bit of heat, and you can't be somebody that's easily offended, because I tell a lot of people, take the extra step. I don't talk about my past much with alcohol and drugs. There's no reason to do that. I think it's a crutch. But like, if there's a time and place for that, best believe it. I'm going to say, throw your lines out. Let's get the most reaction we can from the crowd, because I know you're doing it for the betterment of the show, and that's what I want. I want to dance on that line of, is this real? Is he really going there? You know?
Gotcha. I mean, that's a good point there. You have to stand out. You have to want it, because there is no jobbers anymore. That ended a long.
Nobody wants to be.
But
That ended a long time ago.
Yeah.
Can I correct you on something here real quick? You use the word jobber. That actually word in our business it used to be a bad thing. But now I would personally love to be labeled as a jobber. And the reason for it is because it means everybody in the back wants to work with you, because you work
and you make
them look the best that they could ever be.
Yeah, I know you're younger guys, but do you remember Johnny Rods?
Yeah.
In WWE, he was technically a jobber, but my God, he was good at what he did.
What about the Brooklyn Brawler?
The Brooklyn Brawler, yeah.
Don't forget SD Jones.
No, the Hardys were considered enhancement jobbers when they first started.
Yeah.
Now look at them.
Yeah.
Known as the tag team, one of the tag teams that you could ever go down the line with.
Yeah.
You also had Al Snow, who is one of the best trainers in our industry,
Mm-hmm.
who was labeled and made a thing. It was called the Job Squad.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, I would personally love to be labeled as a jobber.
Yeah, I think I honestly think they deserve a lot of credit back then, because who wants to go out and get beat every damn night? But they'll do it. They will do it. And look, Johnny Rods got into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he did. And he made a lot of, and not only that, he made a lot of people money. Because for all these baby faces, good guys everybody loves, there has to be a nemesis. There has to be a bad guy. And to me, like, I think that there's two things lacking in the business. I think that's a heel. I know that a true heel is one of those things, but people that are willing to make an ass out of themselves. We are good guys pretty much everywhere we go. There's one place that we are bad guys, and I constantly remind him, we got to make an ass out of ourselves. But we also got to be able to be serious. Like, if I slip and fall, I'm going to make an ass out of myself, but then I'm going to be like, oh, I meant to do that. Clearly I meant to do that. But nobody wants to do that anymore, and nobody wants to stand up to do that stuff anymore. Like, these guys, we're going to shows. Who wants to be in the battle row? Their hands are the first one up. They want to get as many reps. They want to get as much opportunity as possible, and I like that. I commend that.
I say that's more just because it's me. If anybody's ever questioned why the name Mosh is there, that battle royal is a wrestling version of a mosh pit for me. That's where my name's from. I want to be the center of attention for that.
Yeah.
So
nothing wrong with that. Let's go through this again. We'll go through the Summerfest, August 17th Front row $20 at the door, 12 general admission, $10. Kids 10 and under free, Lewistown Community Center, or as Matt says, the Coliseum. Doors open at 5, bell time 6. We have Riley Crow debuting. Angel Metro returns. She's taking on Crow, right?
That's right.
Pit Chicks in action. James Ford's in action. Then the biggie, the Sons of Mifflin County, taking on Neverfall. So
Right.
go, everybody.
Yes.
Get
yes,
out
get
there.
your ticket. And I definitely want to put over the Willow Workbench because they have our tickets right now. Pete runs a really good shop down there. Me and well, I should say it this way. Josh and I went down there, done 2 interviews, and we've been talking a lot about the Willow Workbench. They have the general admission $10 tickets, 12 at the door. You guys can get in there. And there's Josh. Thank you again, Josh. But thank you to Pete. There's a lot to be said there. We have a great partnership. He's going to be at the show, so he can sell some stuff. You guys should check out everything that he's doing.
I actually did a story on them for the Sentinel when they opened their business up. I did a story on Willow Workbench.
They're
The stuff that he creates, the fantastic wood carvings and things that he has, blows me away because I wish I knew that technology to be able to do that, let alone not just do it, but have that as his personal business and be able to, as an artist, to be able to just do that for a living and make a living, constantly living off of it and be comfortable in life would be fantastic.
He wanted to invest in our wrestling company by helping us out by selling tickets down there. It's a big deal to be able to sell tickets to wrestling, but there hasn't been a real supplier in Lewistown in a minute because there was an incident at West End where I do believe it's Seven Mountains. Something happened with their tickets, and so they didn't want to sell tickets over there anymore because of it, which I can't fault them for it. But then that kind of affected us, and I didn't like that. I like the fact that Pete opened his doors to us for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
So, Mosh, you're not going to be like stupid and bring your pit chick out there with Neverfall again, are you?
She is actually not allowed ringside.
Oh, okay.
Lista has put that out there that from bell to bell, she is not allowed out there because of what. So everything will be focused out there. But if she does come out there, she is fine, and I'm not about to help pay for that. So, because she's not light when she decides to find people. I've been there firsthand
Myself too.
Yeah, I don't like being on the end of those.
Yeah,
but
she's a great
to me personally, I don't want her out there for her safety.
Yeah,
I don't want to know what John or Zach has up their sleeves.
What are they going to resort to now? Yeah, like what are they going to do now? It's the save Dan.
Say, but also on top of that, that means his focus is fully where it needs to be. My focus is definitely 100% where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And when him and I are on the same page, we're a well-oiled machine. Nothing breaks.
Yeah, nothing. They're no joke. And to this point, I've never been so confident in my career as a wrestler. 18 years I've been taking bumps on the ground and the ring and on trampolines. But I tell you what, I've never been so excited. I've never been so confident. And I've never been so humbled and honored to do it as well because, like I said, 5 years these guys have been undefeated. And to even entertain the thought of giving us another match, I know that they had no choice. Krista wanted the match. But the fact that they showed up, they did business. We went in there. We had that interview between the two of us, and things weren't good. It wasn't bad, but I had to keep him, calm down. You would love John Roden, Brian. I'm telling you, he's the guy that gets people fired up. Oh yeah. he gets people fired up, just like at John Washington. But they're the heels that you want. They're the heels that you can depend on to make people mad, but not in the mad way, the way they're gonna riot or something.
Well,
You know,
after him putting Dan through the table, we almost rioted.
it was close to a riot. That's no joke. 100%.
Yeah, that there you got to be careful with.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah, because there's a lot of people that do get there. We've been to a few places where people have been so into it to where they're like, oh my God, they're like, he is trying to kill him. And it's not our job to go out there and say that we're not doing that, but
No, we are.
yeah, we are. But at the end of the day, like, you don't want to push people away. You don't want to, and there's little kids that come to these shows, 10 and under, and it's a family friendly show. We've only had one time to where, people were really worried and thinking things were really bad. And, we did what we had to do to take care of that. And we're in a better place now because of that, though. So we needed it to happen.
Twice, because also when I broke one of my face got broken.
Yeah, he broke his face.
Yeah, they really thought that was real stupid.
It really was real.
Yeah.
I heard you also.
Yeah.
Okay, well, take us to like the end of the match. You guys pull off the victory. 1, 2, 3. Got the count. Tell me, will this be one of the sweetest victories you guys ever had?
It's going to be the sweetest victory that we've ever had. That's not a question. In my opinion, this will be the most talked about thing that's ever happened in our company. There's going to be, like I said, element of surprise, baby. And there's so many. There's so many that, I love the wrestling business. I respect the wrestling business. But like I said, we need surprises. I'll leave it at that.
Do you remember how at the end of football, you win the Super Bowl and
Where are you going to go?
what are you going to do now that you won the Super Bowl? And they always yell, "We're going to Disneyland."
Yep.
Mm-hmm. When we beat Neverfall, we're going to Disneyland and we're taking the titles with us. We're going to ride Space Mountain, Tower of Terror with the titles around our waist.
Yep. And we'll talk about it on this podcast.
Well, maybe not this time. We're not that expensive. Maybe we'll go to Hershey Park instead.
Yeah.
Well, Hershey Park would be good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We'll still wear the titles everywhere we go, though. Yeah.
And I guarantee it's a lot cheaper than Disney.
Exactly.
So, give me, I know your match already.
Mhm.
What you think. Give me some predictions on some of the other matches at Summerfest. Who you think's going to come out on top?
I don't know. I'm excited for the women's match. I'm excited for Riley Crow to debut. I'm excited for Angel Metro. Madness at the Coliseum was a great match. And I see that Angel Metro, she lit HWF on fire. People were so excited to see her come here. And in my opinion, Riley Crow is she's grit, man. She is grit. Let's put it that way. So I don't know. I think Angel may need to pack a lunch, but don't ever count the underdog out. You know what I mean?
No, can't.
I'll say this. I'll say this one. We talked about us a lot here, but our brother that's also wrestling tonight, Edward James.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to put a bold stamp on this one. Take it to DraftKings and Draft Sons. All of them are walking away with victories, not just us. Dan as well, and same with Edward James. All of us walking out with our hands held high.
Yeah, and I mean to go off of what you just said about Edward James, man, what a talent! Like this guy's. If you want to be technical, like I said the other day, he's wrestled longer than me, and there ain't really many of them. So, but he doesn't walk around acting like that. He doesn't strut his stuff. He listens to what that he needs to listen to in the ring. He's adapted to a lot of things. I'm excited for him and my wife. Actually, they're getting ready to do their first solo show without us. We're going to be doing another event this coming weekend where Edward James is going to get to wrestle in Voltage Wrestling. My wife's getting to be the pretty much the boss of the show, being the license, and we're going to be at 814, which big thanks to 814 and Voltage. But I'm excited for Edward James. Edward James is going to be a show with his favorite wrestler, His favorite wrestler being Shane Douglas, the franchise. He's modeled his career off of that. I know he has. But Devin Thrasher's no joke either. Devin Thrasher's the man that's wrestling Edward James. We have a lot of history with Thrasher and Aiden and you know the Bad Street Boys. So Devin's not to be taken serious, not to be taken lightly. You know, take him serious because I'm telling you, he has a pinfall over me. You know what I mean? We're going back after that. So I guess he does have 2 over me. But that's the thing. Edward James is he's hitting home runs all the time now. And in my opinion, you know, no distractions. 0 distractions for Edward James. 0 distractions for the Suns in general. Like he said, we're all being victorious.
One other match we talk about. I know we're going to be on different sides of the coin here. I think Madness of Trip's taking it home. You know, between him and all the voices in his head, I think 100% he's taking Ford to the clinic and taking that title home with him.
Well, talk about guys that beat us, right? I mean, Madness of Trip beat Artie Knox, right? Well, James Ford beat me, broke my ribs, took the single greatest championship I've ever held, and he's been 10 times the champion that I was. So, yeah, he's right. We're going to be on different sides of the coin here. James Ford is going to retain the HWF championship because he tells everybody he's forever champion. And, dude, my body still feels it. So,
No, I'm telling you, it's got to be Trip.
yeah, you must be tripping if James Ford's winning.
No,
See what I did there?
Yeah, I like that.
the pun. Say the other match that I know that was announced on here. You know what? I'm going with Lestat. Lestat and I've had some mixed ups in the ring a little bit. The gentleman outside the ring's a great guy, but you know, I know what that man can do.
Yeah, he's bad, man.
And I know that he carries around Brian with him, and also the little banana with him. I think the combination of them together and the trickeries that they like to play in the comedic world, that I think they got Sega's number.
Yeah, I think he does too. But you know, like that's gonna be something fun. I think the kids are gonna like that. My son, I'll give you a little bit of dirt. My son that does the video work, he's a big fan of Sega, and Sega's the wrestler for me, HW company that we wrestle at. And he was like, Dad, it would be great to see him and Lestat versus each other. And he had someone else in there that he wanted to have in there too, to make it that much funnier. And I went with it. I was like, you know what? I think if my 13-year-old son thinks it would be cool and they're doing their job that good to where he's into it, I'm sure other people are going to be also. Sometimes you got to listen to them kiddos. Man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're up with it. And not only that, like that's how I book. You know what I mean? Not just listening to kids, not just listening to adults. You got to have a feed on the audience, man.
Not only that, though, but your son's coming with it. That's what his generation's looking at and wanting some entertainment and laughter at it.
Yep.
So why not try it?
Yeah.
If he's thinking it's funny, so will so many others at that point.
Yeah.
Then it makes it even better. Yeah.
All right, we got a question here from Carl Barker. He wants to ask one. If you can ask a question, did you guys take any hate from the way you left the title from the old family? Because I heard a few things and I was defending you guys because I think it was a very honorable way you guys did that. I think it was full of respect.
Yeah. So the way you do, there is a time-honored tradition in our business that you do the right thing. And the wrestlers that are watching this, or anybody that is a smart mark in our business, is going to understand what I mean there. But I wanted to be able to do that. I wanted to be able to go up there and do the right thing. But we're talking about 6 hours in total that this is going to require for us to get up there. And at the point that we left the company, we were literally not able to go because we had to do licensing, we had to do ring rentals, we had to take other bookings. So yeah, I mean, I didn't like personally 100%. I didn't like the way we did it, and I'll be honest. I mean, I would honestly go the go the route and go up there and do business. But at the end of the day, the business that we were looking for didn't want nothing to do with us. Let's put it that way. And there was a lot of bad things said about me, and that's okay. I'll take that. And like, there's two sides of the story. I'm not in the business of belittling someone else. Was someone else throwing stones at me? They sure were. They bounced back. I have nothing to throw back at them. To me, when someone does that to you and you talk about them, you make them bigger. You make them relevant. And I'm not about to do that. I'm trying to do that on a good note for us and what we do in the ring and for our fans. And to me, there's no reason to shoot and to be negative. We really appreciated PWX. I loved it there. We had some great matches. But it was just time to move on. I mean, Mosh says about, we kind of outgrew it. And we look at it that way because of the competition that we wanted to have. We wanted to be able to be tested, and we wanted to be able to, but as a veteran of the wrestling business, you should be able to adapt to anything that you're in. And we did that every time that we go out there. That's what you do in the business. But there's sometimes to where just a perfect example, if you feel you're going to get injured, then you probably shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Why would you do it if you know for a fact that that's going to hurt you, or this person maybe doesn't have enough training to take care of you in the ring? And I'm a teacher, so I take a lot of offense to people that don't want to train because they're going to injure me for $50. Like, to me, like that's not worth it, man. Like, I've beaten myself up more than anybody's going to beat me up. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I guess that would be, me being that I'm not a wrestler, facing somebody who's inexperienced and really doesn't know what they're doing could be very, very dangerous to you.
It can be dangerous, but it's also a proving ground. It's also the place where guys like me can shine
Get to
and
slap them around.
Yep. Not for that reason.
Rookie.
I've done that, but not for that reason. I've taken it to the point where it's like I should be able to work with anything because I do teach people. So I should be able to work with anything, no matter what. But we've been in some instances where people didn't like us. They kicked us right in the face. They did what they had to do, and we took care of that. There was some people going on there, but hey, like I said, there's no need in going into anything negative. We have a lot of negative stuff going on with Neverfall, and we don't need any more. But to Carl and everybody else up there, like I said, man, we wanted to try to do business, but the best we could do is what you got. And I believe that McKeesport will see the Suns again. I do believe that. I don't know the circumstances. We're just gonna have to see if that can. We just don't know if that can happen right now. Let's just put it that way.
Gotcha. Makes sense. I do feel bad for you though. In one respect, when you beat Neverfall, the fat bastards are coming for you.
So, brother,
we are coming for you, Mosh. You.
He's gonna. I'm gonna ignore him for 1 minute.
Don't beat me up.
I'm gonna listen to you and say this. You've told me several times in my life that I'm not allowed to take out somebody in a wheelchair. That when we're on that football field, that I can't take one of the kids, flip them upside down, and just keep running the ball.
No, you can't do that.
I understand, but he's challenging me.
He is.
He's bucking up.
You're asking for it, Brian.
I'm ready, Mosh.
I'm allowed to turn it up now and knock him out, right?
I guess.
All right.
I'm like really scared, man. I'm in a wheelchair challenging you.
Okay.
Hey,
So
just
show up
remember,
at the Coliseum. That's all I'm going to say. Because I'm going to tell you now, there might be a roundhouse kick come to the side of your head, and you don't know which side is coming. And then when you're done and I'm looking down at you, I'm going to ask you, did you get knocked out? Did you learn the lesson?
Did you keep it? Listen to him.
That'd be good TV.
It would be.
Guys, can you remember the opinion of Brian Carson is not the total opinion of the press box. It's just him alone. So
that's right, Kenny.
There you go. There you go. Josh Yoder said, WrestleMania, Sons of Mifflin County against the Fat Bastards.
That's it.
So,
Book it, Triple H.
Brian, just what I just said to you there
Yeah.
is the same thing I'm going to say to Neverfall.
Yeah.
What's
I am
that,
going to
buddy?
pick some heads in. I don't care
Okay.
where they're standing at in the ring. If they're standing backstage running their mouth. We're done playing games.
Yeah.
We're done with all this talk.
Yeah.
It's showtime.
That's right.
Next Saturday, I don't want to hear any word out of anybody's mouth. That bell's going to ring and a fight's going to happen.
That's right. That's for sure. That is definitely going to. Definitely.
Awesome. One more time. We have, it is Saturday the 17th. It is Summerfest.
Right.
And we have August 17th, front row 20, at the door 12, general admission 10. Kids 10 and under free at the Coliseum, the Lewistown Community Center. Bell time 6 o'clock. Doors open 5. Go see them, people. They put it on the line. They put it on the line for you guys. A lot of hard work, a lot of bruised bodies, but you know they entertain, and that's what it's all about. And guys, we thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Anytime, just let us know. We'll bring you on. We always have fun. Always have fun with you guys.
Yeah, we do. We do. I you know how I am with this, man. I appreciate everything that we get, and this thing right here, like I said about Pete earlier, everybody that helps, Mama Dawn, you guys are all essential in helping this get out there. You know what I mean? So thank you to you guys, Kenny, both you and Brian. Thanks, Mosh. Thank you, Dan, for coming up. You know, this is only as big as we make it be. And of course, you can find the Suns on YouTube. You can watch our matches. This Saturday, we're going to be in 814 in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, taking on two guys we really, really like a lot. But match is going to take place, man. We're going to get it done. And Edward James, Krista Silks is going to be at Voltage Wrestling. And then next Saturday, Summerfest, the Suns are the ones to defeat Neverfall for the HWF Tag Team Championship.
Sounds like it'll be a good one. You'll have a good crowd.
I hope so.
Matt, thank you, buddy. Mosh, thank you, buddy.
Guys.
Amen. Anytime, guys.
God bless you guys.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Yep.
Thanks,
God
guys.
bless you.
That was Matt TRK Silks and Mosh, the Sons of Mifflin County. They'll be taking on Neverfall at Summerfest. Go see it. It should be fun.
They definitely draw a crowd. So if you guys like anyone who likes professional wrestling who haven't got a chance to go out and see these guys, you need to do it, because the time that you're there, it just goes by like that, and it's brings any wrestling lover, whether it be WWE, AEW, or any the smaller ones, you won't go home disappointed. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Do you have any shout outs? I know it's hard to have shout outs when there's nothing going on.
Yeah, well, I got one that kind of and circles a lot of people.
Okay, hold on. We got to play the music, dude.
Got to do it, yeah.
Got to play the music. It's Kenny shout outs on the press box. Go for it.
All right, we'll start off at the top here. I want to give a shout out to the creators of Wrangle in the Wild 4, Joey Bender, Trent Hidley, Hayden Hidley, put together a great show last week, and I want to give a shout out to all the wrestlers. It was a fun night of wrestling, and just like with it went by too quick. It was a nice evening. They honored the former Lewistown area high school wrestlers. Just a class act from bottom to top. So shout out to you guys. Can't wait till the next one.
Yeah, Matt Bonson can still go, can he?
Oh man, yes. And there was a wrestler. I think his last name was Collier. Is that sound familiar?
Was he in the main event?
No, he was in the next. He was 60 years old. One of the oldest
What?
wrestlers at Durango. Let me go back to my story.
60.
That's what I was told. Now, whether or not my sources are good or not, but
I missed that.
oh, let me find it here.
That's cool if he can do it. I mean,
Oh man, I have.
that is cool if he can do it.
Okay.
So yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah, I can't find it right now, but there was.
well, that's neat.
Oh,
I
he was
like it that what they do with last year was Chief Logan that they honored, and it's pretty cool, because they can do Kish,
Mhm.
Indian Valley.
Yeah. Cross Todaro did win, and
He's
was
in the Hall of Fame.
immediately put in the hall. Yep. And they took your suggestion. They actually went to a takedown 3-point system. So just like
Why not? It's the new way that we that they're scoring. So the kids, some of the ones that are actually still wrestling, got to get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Why not do it? And then Gary Barger, who refereed there, just to let everybody know, is going to be on the show next week, because everybody knows he's a wrestling official, but not many know he's also a football official. And he's going to be on talking about the new rules in high school football and other things. So that's next week.
He also is a district
president.
So
for baseball, Little League baseball and softball. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about.
He wears a lot of hats.
Yep, and it'll be a good show. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was it.
All right. Yeah, the Wrangle's a cool thing, and it keeps getting more and more popular, and it's good for the sport. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, and despite the rainy weather, it got packed. It had a nice crowd.
Wrestling always does, my friend. Mm-hmm. Always does here in Mifflin County. So do you got anything coming up? I don't know, like
just previews for different high schools.
Yeah, I know. I still gotta do mine. I haven't done any.
Oh wow.
I got all of Mifflin County, but see, I gotta be able to I don't like to interview them when they haven't practiced yet.
Right.
And now they started practicing. Football did that, so I'll start getting a hold of them. But I don't like that. I at least want them to have a one practice. The papers want these previews earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you that. Mm-hmm. And and it's just like, why interview somebody? You haven't even practiced, man. It's just like, I won't do it. I'll get caught up. It's hectic, but I'll get caught up. So yeah, we'll talk about football with Gary Barger, some Little League stuff, maybe even some wrestling.
Nice.
Talk to him about those new rule changes in wrestling too. So that's what we got next week.
Awesome.
All right, that's going to about wrap it up for us. Thank you, everybody that was on listening. Thank you to Matt TRK Silks, Pit Chick, and Mosh for coming on from the Honorary Wrestling Federation. And that's going to wrap it up for now. We will see you next week for Brian Carson, for Teddy Barner. I hope I did it again. For Teddy Barner, I'm Brian Carson. Thank you for listening, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.
Good night, everybody.